When COVID hit, we started doing a Tuesday morning prayer time, I think at 6:30 in the morning, just over Zoom to get people together to pray. And several weeks into that, somebody invited Josh to that prayer gathering. So that's how we first connected. And when he mentioned that he was a church planter, I called him maybe a week or two later and said, let's get together. I'd love to hear what God's doing. And immediately hit it off and saw all the connections that we had, all the people that we knew, shared friends, and just really hit it off quickly.
In 2019, Lord laid it on my heart to plant a church. I'd kind of taken a team on a short-term trip. My wife and I had lived overseas in North Africa, trying to plant churches there. In a context, it was like 99.99% Muslim. And so for us, it was a real shift when God brought us back to the States in 18 and saying, what do we do now? Like, what's the next step you've got for us, Lord? You've given us these language skills. You've given us this passion for the nations. And how do we pour that out in the city of Memphis, where he's clearly planted us?
The more we talked, the more we realized, man, we could really complement each other well. And then our two bodies, our two small churches, could really complement each other well also. We went through a long process, probably 6 to 9 months of just asking all the hard questions, making sure we had really got everything on the table, because mergers can be a tricky thing, and personalities can get involved, and we just want to make sure that we've set everything from the beginning. And so, but every step of the way, we felt like God was saying, yeah, this is what I want you to do. I want you to keep moving forward.
We did some joint services early that weren't designed to see, hey, should we merge? Should we not merge? Any kind of question like that. We just said, hey, can we come together? We think the church needs to come together. We think like unity really matters. And what better way can we say that than bringing the little that we both have and putting it in the hands of the Lord and saying, hey, what do you want to do with this? And I think after one of the first one that we did, one of his leaders was like, hey, why don't we do this more often? Like, how about every week? And we kind of laughed at first, but it was kind of the start of a really good question for us to just say, hey, there is some value to walking with each other. There's some complementary skill sets that God's brought each of us. We had a lot of 20-somethings. They had a lot of families, and our kids were the only kids in the youth group at that time. And so it was really nice to just kind of blend our strengths. Josh Folliart, the guy that really was at the center of us even planting, he said to me early in this process, he was like, if this goes right, you can really multiply your victories while dividing your sorrows. And it was like, what sounds more like the kingdom of God than that? Like, what sounds more like family and then walking together than really truly saying, hey, you're not the exact same as me, I'm not the same as you, but can we take what we have to Jesus and trust him to work out the hard parts, work out the messy parts, and just walk in faith together? And so I think that's been a really fun part of our story. From two church planners that wouldn't be here without outside help, we're so grateful for you giving of yourselves to perpetuate a vision somewhere else in the city of Memphis and allowing us to walk in our gifts and allowing us to walk in our calling.
A lot of our friends that are planters didn't make it through COVID. Even churches that were more established didn't make it through COVID. And because of your generosity, we've been able to sustain this and keep going, to the point where God brought Josh and New Heights along. And we can't wait to see what God's got in the future for us.